For most middle schoolers, our favorite part of the entire year was field trips. And in my middle school, and in most middle schools around my area, we had one field trip every year in 6th grade. For every 6th grade class, each and every year, there was a science field trip called SciCon. SciCon was a camp where you would go up into the mountains for 4 days and do all sorts of stuff like trails, experiments. They would feed you. We'd live in cabins with our classmates. It was honestly a lot of fun. It was camping instead of being in the classroom. You really couldn't have a better time. You were hanging out with all your friends. I mean, sure, you still have to do kind of technically schoolwork, whatever. But you were in the mountains. You were having campfires every night. You were eating phenomenal food. You were just vibing the entire time. So it was just a hoot and a holler. Anyways, this was a trip where you even got to pick your own cabin mates. So it was like me and 7 of my cool buddies. We were all in the same cabin with like 8 other people from another school, whatever. Anyways, the trip, it was kind of uneventful. But as the title says, I almost died on this trip. And here's how that happened. The last day, it was pick your own trail day. It was your, what do you call that in school? It is an elective. It was the elective trail. So we were just chilling. We were about to go on our elective trail. We were about to choose what elective trail we were going to go on. And me and the only person in this story who really needs a name is my buddy who we'll call Chris. Me and him decided, let's go on Sky Trail. Sky Trail is this trail where you had to be on your best behavior the entire time because it was a very intensive trail. Listening skills, because it was going very high up. It was like 2,000 plus feet. It was kind of insane. It was a big deal. So me and Chris were like, we gotta go. We gotta endure this 2,000 foot straight up mountain trail. So we go on this trail. We go with a couple of other buddies. It's whatever. We're gonna have a hoot and a holler. The food before this was terrible. I mean, this really doesn't have anything to do with the story, but the food with this was just terrible. They fed 6th graders salad. What's going through their mind feeding 6th graders salad before sending us on a 2,000 foot hike up the mountain? You're gonna feed us salad? I don't know. It wasn't even chicken salad either. It wasn't even chicken salad either. It was Fritos and a salad with an option of milk. Like, I don't get it. So anyways, we go on this trail. We start. It's cool. Like, we're seeing all sorts of rocks. We're seeing all sorts of whatever. We're kind of just joking around the entire time because it's the last day. What are they going to do? They're not put us in timeout for like 20 minutes. Oh, whoop-de-doo. We already got through this entire trip. We got one more night, which we plan on staying up the entire time anyways, just telling stupid stories, whatever. So we go through the first 30 minutes of this trail, and then we finally get to the uphill part. And now when we get to the uphill part, we are in charge of carrying up these big gallons of water. Because we played football, we were tackle football, so we were like bigger kids. We were bigger kids, not fat, but we were bigger kids because we were playing tackle football at this point. We were the biggest kids on this trail because it was obviously and we were the big muscles on the trail. So they gave us the water jugs to hike up. We hiked those up for a bit, whatever, and then it's our turn to pass them on to the next shift. So we're all of a sudden bored because this trail, it's kind of easy. Everyone's kind of taking it slow because it is kind of an intensive trail for a 6th grader, but we're in pretty solid shape, so it really isn't that intensive for us. So we have a game that we would play in middle school called Tripsies. You have to stay within, it's 7 feet of each other. You have to stay very close to each other. And the first one to make the other one trip is the winner. It's a stupid game. It's the typical stupid middle schooler game. Every middle schooler has it. Every middle schooler's played a game like this. It's just your typical stupid middle schooler game. So we start playing Tripsies. And it's when I say it's an intense game of Tripsies, this game probably goes down as the most intense. It actually is the most intense game of Tripsies we ever played. It was the retirement game of Tripsies after this because we were traumatized of what was soon to happen. So me and Chris are playing Tripsies. We're going up the mountain. Then we get to a part of the trail where there's rocks, there's bigger pebbles. and it's making, and like we're just tripping on our own because like we're not paying attention. We're trying to not get tripped by the other person, so we're almost tripping on these pebbles, on these big pebbles, big rocks, whatever. But we're, I'd say, about 900 feet up. We're about 900 feet up, and there's a slope down the mountain. It's so many thorn bushes, so many broken trees. There's, I guarantee, so many bugs that if they bit me, I would have died. I don't know. There's just all sorts of stuff. And there's no guardrails on this trail. Remember, like, they wanted only the people who could pay attention and follow directions the best on this trail. You had to earn your way on this trail. And we're playing damn tripsies. So there's a couple of trees, like, that kind of would block yourself if you accidentally leaned on them. But we were kind of getting out of that area. So we were walking up. And my buddy Chris, now I got to give him credit. This was a pretty good trip because none of us had tripped each other in like 7 minutes. So I think a lot of us forgot we were even playing the game. He hits me at the trip. And as I'm about to recover, another one of those big pebble rocks gets me. So I kind of slip on that. And then I fall off the side of the mountain that you don't want to fall off. I get caught by a branch, right? I get caught by this branch. Chris grabs me, pulls me back up, and as soon as he pulls me back up, the branch snaps and tumbles down this big slope. It would have 100% killed me. I would not be here right now recording this video if he had not made that split-second decision to grab me and pull me back up. I will never forget just staring down that mountain, seeing the stick boom, 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 boom. And me and him just stared at the stick, looked at each other, and we started laughing. We started laughing, obviously, whatever. We started dying laughing. Because we're like, that's hilarious, da, 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 da. And then we look, and then as we're walking, we were thinking about it for a little bit. We're like, wait, that could have seriously killed us. We could not even be here right now. So, right then and there, we retired the game of Tripsies because we never wanted something like that to ever happen again. And yeah, it's that the rest of the trail, we were just chatting the entire time. A couple of our other buddies were like, wow, are you okay? Whatever. But it was kind of traumatizing. It was, I mean, now we look back at it and we laugh about it. But in the moment, we were like, damn. We could have really died up in the middle of nowhere. We could have really died up here. And our parents would have never seen us again. Because we decided to play a stupid Tripsies game to try to make each other fall when we were going up a 1,000 plus foot trail with no guardrails. Which, isn't that kind of insane that they would even let, even if the 6th graders were well behaved, any 6th grader with a bunch of their buddies go up that high of a trail with no guardrails? I find that insane. Because now, even we almost killed each other. So, yeah, that was hilarious. At the time, it wasn't hilarious, but I was reminded about the story watching the Mets get embarrassed by the Cubs today. That was kind of bad, and it was like, damn, I almost never even saw this because I almost died at SciCon. Isn't that crazy? And I remember we got up to the top of the mountain, and then like our one, what do you call those people? Like the high schoolers that would go and watch us. What are they called? What are the counselors, I guess? So we went to our buddy counselor who we kind of knew because we already knew at high school we were going to go to, and he was on the basketball team, and like we were kind of cool with him, whatever. And we told him about this, and he got a serious face, like, bro, you guys can't do that. Like, we could have, like, it could have been a whole big deal. And we're like, yeah, we understand that now. But you gotta admit, it's kind of funny. And he started laughing when we said it was kind of funny. He was like, well, I mean, now that you guys are all good, it is kind of funny. So we just had we had a laugh about it. It was fun. They gave us some stupid trail mix when we got up there. It was pretty bad. I'm not even gonna lie. We almost threw that shit up. We got back down, told every other one of our closest friends, because we had 2 other buddies who didn't get the opportunity to go on this trail, so they had to go on another trail. And they're like, dude, we were playing Tripsies too, and one other person almost fell 70 feet in the water. And after that, like, we had all come to the agreement, like, yeah, none of us are ever playing Tripsies again. We're going to come up with a new game. Which we have a new game. We had a new game back then. And it actually leads to another funny story, which is for another video. But yeah, this is how I almost died on a field trip. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want more content like this, like and subscribe. This is Talladega. Don't do stupid games on big trails with a bunch of your buddies that could possibly lead to you killing yourself. Signing out. Laters.